Today we're going to review Daniel Smith's new Primatek watercolors.
Life is in a stream. The ocean
Hello everyone, this is Elisa Laporte Art and I'm Elisa. These are Daniel Smith's extra fine watercolors, or the Primatek watercolors with minerals. There's 35 watercolors and the pigment is mined from the earth. Nearly all have granulating properties, which gives texture and depth. We're going to start with our Serpentine Genuine. It's from a stone that is mined in Australia. Whoa! That just exploded. Maybe I was playing with it too much. Already I can tell it's a very olive color. It's beautiful. Let's make sure we don't lose any of that. Green fingers! As I was saying, it's from a soft stone mined in Australia, and it's used cross-culturally for carving amulets that are used to ward off harm. So we're going to put it here. First thing we're going to do is look how intense the color is. Oh wow. Look how vibrant that is. I hope you can see that. And then I'm going to wash it out. This has no known comparison in the Primatek palette. I can see why. It's just amazing. It gets very dark and goes very light, almost a yellow-green. It's semi-transparent and develops granulation of burnt scarlet. We'll have to wait and let that dry. This one would be great for landscapes and florals. The Serpentine Genuine has a light fastness of 1, which is excellent. So this is going to stay around for a long time. Now we're going to go to our Mayan Blue Genuine. It's from the Primatek watercolor collection as well. Hopefully this one doesn't explode on me. Now this one is transparent and it's low staining and also has granulation. Look at that. Let's add some water and see how it blends. It's beautiful. It's a green tinted indigo. This one has granulation as well, which is great for texture, for rocks or even in the ocean if you want. And long ago, this color adorned the murals and sculptures of the Mayan people. Despite the exposure to severe heat and humidity, the color has hardly faded over thousands of years. And by using methods from Mayan chemistry, this metal-free and unique pigment has been recreated. It's beautiful. So this one will last you a long time as well. It has a light fastness of 2, so it's really good. It's not going to crack or go bad in the heat or humidity. It's going to be great for that kind of weather. I'm going to actually try mixing the two. We'll blend it into each other and see how that works. Oh, it just makes me all excited. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Only problem with this, now I think I want more. I'm gonna talk my husband into it. Ooh. Look at that range of color. You can see where it's semi-staining because when I try to rub it out, it stays there. I mean, it kind of leaves, but it will leave just a little bit of color there. This one is non-staining. Let's take this brush right here. I will be able to scrub out and see how well we can get some of that color out. I always have it. Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah, it's definitely clears that out. And let's try this one here. You can see it's not coming up as well. but yeah, I see a little left behind. So yes, this, I just love how vibrant the colors are. I don't know if you can tell how vibrant they are, but let's test them out with some other colors. I wanted to see how they worked with our neutral tint. Yes, so it really darkens it up. It still has that beautiful granulation throughout it, and you still get some of those highlights of the green showing through, but it definitely darkens it up, which would be gorgeous for shadows. Now I want to see how this looks with our Mayan blue. I do prefer how the Serpentine Genuine lays down more so than the Mayan blue Genuine, but I still love the color. It's so vibrant and blue. I do love my blues, but I really love this green. So it kind of comes out almost clumpy though. I don't see as much granulation yet, as much as I did with this one. I do see it here. It's very dark blue. It is beautiful. I see how it reacts to some primary colors. I'm just going to put a swatch of Cad Red, my ultramarine blue, which is probably one of the most common blues I use most frequently, at least on my palette. And with our Cad Yellow. It's always interesting to me how paints react to each other. Do they repel? Do they mix well? Do they granulate with each other? Does it show the granulation like this one? I still don't see as much granulation, especially on this side. I do a little bit in the blue. It does make a really nice dark green. And it's interesting the color we've got here. It becomes very neutral. I almost prefer the neutralization of this over this. It's more vibrant and bright. Let's try our yellow, see how light we can get this. Ooh. So this will definitely be one I would put on my palette. As you can see, it has some beautiful granulation. It mixes very well with other colors, as well as the neutral tint. That I would use this a lot for trees and foliage and a lot of my landscapes. This looks less like a Christmassy green, which I don't like. I love this olive color green. It feels more natural to me. Let's try out. See, this one almost has a little bit more trouble wanting to actually mix together. But it is creating a beautiful purple, which is to be expected with blue and red. But it almost, I don't know if you can see that, but it almost does not. Right here, it almost does not want to blend or mix together like it does over here. See that? It kind of just sits on top of each other. Very interesting. Yeah, it does not want to blend very much. It just, Just see what I mean by learning your colors. I mean, I would never have thought that those two wouldn't mix, because most blues that I have will mix with reds. This one, because of the minerals in it, it does not want to mix with this Cad Red. Put a little bit more of our ultramarine blue. Let's see how blue, because this is more of a indigo green color. Yeah, you can definitely see it's more green than blue. I'd say it definitely took over the ultramarine blue, made it darker, but more blue than green. And we'll do our Cad Yellow. Should turn a green, more green. This one's more like a Christmassy green. That's what that reminds me of. Again, this one does not like to blend well with other pigments. It just kind of like sets and pools up in an area. Bleed the color out. I do like the granulation that I'm getting in this one though. You can see some granulation. In this yellow, if you look closely, it's a nice color. Okay, those are most of the colors I would be mixing in general with this. I have these always on my palette, so I really wanted to test it with those. This one would be a little bit more difficult to work with, so I might use it for special projects, because it does look like it has a harder time. You still see it doesn't blend well. It just wants to sit on top. Let's try it again just to be sure. Maybe it was sat there and waited too long. Let's try it again. See, I can still see underneath where the red is. It's like it doesn't fully want to incorporate together. But I did create a nice gray, a very warm gray here. I actually do like that. So don't let your color dry if you're going to be mixing it. Maybe that was part of my problem. Now I'm going to create a small little painting here using our Mayan Blue Genuine and our Serpentine Genuine. Just got to figure out what it is I want to paint using these two specific colors. So I found this really cool bird on Pixabay that I am going to draw that is perfect with a lot of these colors that we have been trying out. Let me just draw it here. Just going to get a few lines and indications of where things on the bird are. It's got a very puffed up chest. Okay, so that's good enough for what I want to do. So I'm going to start with a layer of our blue. Nice wash. If you remember, it turned a beautiful turquoise when we mixed it together, so I'm going to do that here. I still want it more blue. See, it really does have a hard time wanting to blend together. So whenever I start a painting and go in, I always first lay in some foundation washes. This helps me know where I want to leave my whites and where I think certain colors should go, and it helps give some color already to the paper, which is nice because sometimes you have this fear of this blank page and that you're going to mess it up. So if you start with a very light wash, you kind of get your colors on there, it will help with that problem. And it's okay that it's not white, but it will be lighter here than the rest of the painting. It's going to be darker over here, so I'm just, while it's still wet, I'm just going in and making sure I get where I want my darks, my lights, all decided during this time. I mean, you decide a lot of that before you even put your paint on your picture, but this is kind of a visual, this is where it is, so when you're painting and you have so many other things to think about, you don't accidentally put a dark where you don't want it. Now we have this dried, and we're going to add our second layer, or adding more tone to our paper, where we want our shadows versus our highlights a lot more. This first layer was basically just putting in your color making sure you left out whites where you wanted them and just put the colors in the general area that you want. I was going to do other colors with this, but I think I'm just going to use the two for this. Because, I mean, we did try it out here. I guess I could. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You can smooth it out if you want, or leave it depending on what style you're going for. Just going to blend it out a little bit. This top beak doesn't have as much shade because it's in the light. It does underneath it a little, where the light's not hitting it. This one would be almost completely black or very dark. And most of his breast here will be our serpentine genuine. I was going to say green, but it's genuine. Is here, but on this underside of his belly, of his breast, is actually very dark. So I want to capture that. You need to be very aware of your lights and darks, your shadows and your highlights when you're painting. They are going to be what tells your story. I'm going to darken that up. I do layer my paintings. That way, as I'm moving about my painting, I don't get one area too dark, because once you go too dark, you can't really go back. It's very difficult. There are some ways you can rub it out, but then sometimes that changes the texture of your paper and your paint, and it's not always what you want. So it's best just to go and kind of skip around your painting and build up your dark slowly. Don't just wha-bam, go in dark at the very first. Some of this might look a little dark, but as it dries, it will actually lighten up a lot. Just trying to get an impression that he has feathers here. You can hear my daughter in the background. I have her actually sitting next to me. She's just playing Legos while I paint. Just kind of getting the idea of feathers, and then I'm going to go in and blend some of that out. Some turquoise here. I love this color, but it just does not want to mix with this other paint. So now I'm going to go back in, just wet my brush a little bit, not too much water, and just blend some of that out. Keep a few of those highlights, not all of them. And here it's actually a very pale blue. I just want to add an indication of some feathers in there. And you just keep layering and bouncing around your painting. Now I'm going to go back and soften up some of these edges here. Blend it in to create another layer, another tone. Now his beak is still a little light on this part, so we add a little bit, blend it out. So here I am going to go in with a flat brush, and I'm going to use this to scrub out a little bit here because I do want a little bit more highlight on this, but I did still want it to be green, which is why I didn't do it before. I just want it a touch lighter. I know this isn't the exact color of the bird or anything, but we're just testing out how it would look, how our colors blend together. I am going to go back in with my flat brush, blend out a few of these feathers here, get those lighter. And it's okay if you don't get the exact you know, we don't want a picture photographic replica of the bird. We just want kind of an idea and the feeling of our bird. That's the beauty of painting and being able to create your own version of what you see. I mean, you could even change the colors and have something completely different if you wanted. Now I'm going to add a very light wash of our paint behind here, just for the background. Nothing too big, just to create some greenery. I feel like he's in a habitat here. Just have fun with it. Enjoy the process. Enjoy allowing your watercolors to just do what they're going to do. I mean, you want some control, yes, but at the same time, watercolors give you something no other medium does. They react different. I mean, like this Mayan blue genuine, it does not want to mix very well with other paint. It just wants to kind of sit on top and do its own thing. And so you have to really test your watercolors, see how they react to each other, because if you plan it all out and you get into a big painting and your paint reacts differently than what you thought it would, then you'll mess up your whole painting, and that will not be fun. You'll waste a lot of paper and money and time. So it's always good to try things out and to even do little thumbnail paintings to just see what colors you're going to use and how they're going to react to each other and what effects you want to get in your painting. It gets a little too dark, too competing with my drawing. There we go. Alright, I really like that. I love how those burnt scarlet specks make the breast of the bird almost look like I put red in it, and I didn't actually add any other paint. I just used our Serpentine Genuine and our Mayan Blue Genuine, and yet I was able to get all of these different colors throughout it. I mean, you mix the two together and you get this beautiful turquoise. You can either make it more blue or more green. And then the green itself just has this beautiful red tint to it that I really like, and that is good to know. I hope you enjoyed this review with me today, learning about our Serpentine Genuine and Mayan Blue Genuine. They're both beautiful colors with lots and lots of potential for some great paintings, and I'm excited to incorporate them into my palette and to try out some of the other colors that they have in the Primatek mineral line. Let me know if you had any questions about either of these paints and what we tried out, if there was anything you needed me to clarify or didn't understand, and let me know if there's any other colors from the Primatek or other paints that you would like me to try out. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified when I do more reviews. I have lots more coming up. And keep on painting.